Hello and welcome to the Football Analysis Platform. I am Bernard Abeko. Kindly subscribe and put your notification button on. There's a need for us to always stay relevant and get ourselves involved in the analysis on this platform. It's a football analysis, of course. Welcome to Match Day 5. Well, we're sorry for not bringing you Match Day 4. Was beyond our control. But we're talking about Arsenal, Manchester United. Oracle is there to talk us through Manchester United. Casta is in a corner to tell us what is happening at Arsenal, and of course, the only female. ADB will be telling us about Chelsea. So you're welcome. There's a lot of questions rattling around my mind, not particularly a bit in relation to the weekend fixtures and what have you, and a lot more with what is happening to the club in general. So the big question for me is, let me start off with Arsenal. Now, who will air Arsenal a trophy this season? He imposed as the goalkeeper. Is it Raya or Ramsdale? Because now, for Arteta, for example, he seemed to want to have sort of well, I can say a double pivot if it's in terms of playing in the midfield. Now, let me find out from you, Casta. Is it Raya or Ramsdale? Who is earning that trophy for us now?
First goalkeeper, second goalkeeper, and you always know that the first goalkeepers are always better than the second choice or the second goalkeepers. And so when the goalkeeper, the first one isn't available, we resort to the second goalkeeper. But I mean, it shouldn't be something that has to be there always. I mean, you are not obliged to always resort or stick to that kind of plan. I mean, you can change in. I mean, bring in different ways. I mean, we listened to Mikel Arteta when he was talking about these two positions and the fact that Gabriel Jesus is also available and Nketiah is also playing well. He said that no player is, cemented at one position, or no player can boast of, I mean, being present always for one position. You have to fight for your position. And so I see it to be like fight for what you want. If you think that you are very good enough, you have to fight for it. And it always depends on the manager. You need to exercise high, I mean, I mean, high skills. I mean, leadership skills, quality leadership skills to be able to manage these two goalkeepers. Because Raya is a very tough goalkeeper. He's a very good goalkeeper, and he is one of the goalkeepers that you always want to see in the Premier League. Because last season, like this, he was one of the best goalkeepers in the English Premier League, and even in Europe at large. And so you realize that he is one of the best goalkeepers that the supporters will always want to be seeing. I mean, on the pitch, but you are at Arsenal and Ramsey is always in the post. You can't just come and then remove Ramsey from the post like that. So you have to fight. I mean, prove yourself in the team that you're also there. I mean, you can also do something. So I think that it depends on Arteta to manage the two goalkeepers because both of them are very good. It has to Arsenal. I mean, Arteta to always know how to go about things when it comes to selecting the best goalkeeper to be in a post for Arsenal. But I think that it is also going to be a very good thing for Arsenal because see, this time around Arsenal is going to play in the Champions League. They are in the EFL. They are going to play FA Cup and they're going to play the Premier League as well. And Arsenal is now hungry to get trophy. I mean, looking at their performance last season, you realize that yes, they wanted to win the English Premier League, and that is the reason why they even didn't focus much on the FA Cup and the EFL as well. But this time around, they've realized that the Premier League is going to be very tough. I mean, Liverpool is coming. Manchester City have already taken the lead. The likes of Tottenham are building. I mean, you see, so I mean, Brighton is even there. You realize that it is going to be very tough for Arsenal to win the English Premier League. And so, if you're a coach, if you are Mikel Arteta, you would have to also find a way. I mean, a different way of getting a trophy for the Arsenal team. And it is not only the EPL that is a recognized, trophy in the league in England. The FA Cup is also very much recognized, and so if you're able to win the FA Cup and let go of the Premier League, it's also a positive, a plus the Arsenal team. Mind you, last season they wanted to even win one trophy. They couldn't even win any trophy at all. With all the performance they put across last season, they couldn't even win a single trophy. And so sometimes when we were able to get one trophy, being FA Cup, EFL Cup, whatever, it will be something that the supporters can get hold of and can boost off that, at least even if for nothing at all we were able to win EFL or maybe FA Cup. You get it. So the goalkeeper can also help us to win the FA Cup. He can be in a post for us now for the FA Cup matches and the EFL Cup matches, and then Ramsey will keep the post for the Champions League and, let's say, the English Premier League. And Raya is also very good for the English Premier League as well. So in times of injuries and all that, Raya is always available. So it is not going to cause any the frictions might come, but the thing is that you as a manager, you have to know how you go about these things, because you are the manager. We've seen Mikel Arteta being on top of issues like this, because remember Ozil's case. Ozil, Mikel Arteta was able to deal with it, was able to sack Ozil from camp and all that, and he dealt with Ozil perfectly. Ozil left the team. He came to Aubameyang. He dealt with him. There was this player, Guendouzi. He was a very fantastic player, very good winger. Very good player. Guendouzi was sacked because of, his attitude. So you realize that Mikel Arteta is one of the coaches that you can't just joke. At his camp, he will give it to you and then make you know where you belong to. So I think it wouldn't cause anything. It wouldn't bring any big problem at camp. It is up to Mikel Arteta to handle things, and I trust Mikel Arteta to do, things very well. To deal with the goalkeepers, to manage them very well, to know who should be in a post. Over the weekend, we saw Raya in a post. He did very well against Everton, and he was able to help us now pick, a first victory. I think for the past 5 years, Arsenal has not been able to pick a victory at Goodison Park. Yesterday, they did it, as you realize that, yes, the goalkeeper was, he did some fantastic saves for the team. He did well. So I think that, without Ramsey, Raya can keep the post for Arsenal.
Now, my composure tells it all. It tells it all, especially for Manchester United. Um, it seemed, well, maybe in want of asking the right question. Is it an issue of everything United do is wrong? United getting everything wrong? Are Manchester United in crisis, Oracle?
Well, first of all, I think every Manchester United fan out there should understand the fact that we are not a decent club anymore. At least not now. We used to be a decent club. Manchester United, we have a great history. But then, at this moment, with these kind of players we have, I don't think Manchester United can compete at the top level. These players are paid huge sums of money every weekend, but then they show nothing on the field of play. But I personally think that everything boils down to Erik ten Hag right now. The reason being that he has been given enough support by the club. He has gotten all the players he wanted the club to sign for him. At a point, he even had to opt against certain players. The club wanted them. The club wanted those players, but he opted against it. For example, the club wanted Kim Min-jae as their major signing this summer, but then he wanted Mason Mount instead. He opted against the buying of Diogo Costa from FC Porto, and then he asked the club to buy Andre Onana instead. Last season, we got him all the necessary players he wanted again. And so in all, I think the club have spent around £500 million on players. And so I think he should be able to turn things around as a coach. But what do we see? We are not seeing any changes. And I think tactically he is getting a lot of things wrong right now. This is the Premier League. It is energy, And so if you keep tired legs on the field of play for, let's say, more than 70 minutes, then you'll be punished. With respect to the players we have, Christian Eriksen and all of these players are doing great. But in the Premier League, if you have a player like Christian Eriksen who is playing 90 minutes day in, day out, I don't think we stand any chance of winning trophy this season. These are players who, after 70 minutes, it shows clearly on the field of play they are tired. and he brings in his substitutions way too late, probably when we are a goal down or 2 goals down. And you know how difficult it is to come back um, from 2 goals or 1-0 down in the Premier League. So I think Eric Ten Hag needs to try and then make try and then um, change stuffs, maybe tactically or something of that sort, to be able to turn things around at the club. But as it stands now, I think the pressure should be on him. It would have been a different case altogether if Eric Ten Hag had not gotten the necessary support. But here is the case: he has all the necessary support he wanted from the club, and so I think the pressure is on him right now. He should be able to turn things around. He should be able to, tactically change things, and then I think we'll be good to go. But for now, as a Manchester United fan, I personally think we should try and lower our expectations, because we can't compete with the likes of Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester City for now. But the good thing is our friends are suffering as well. I'm talking about the small club, Chelsea.
Well, I mean, ADB, for some, it is an unacceptable result. But for the manager, it is work in progress. He feels that Chelsea should have grinded a result, against Bournemouth. And uh, the coach says, like, we are getting up. You need a bit of patience to make a team. Or it's an issue of Chelsea must win, period.
Cool. Yes. So I personally, I don't think that it's an issue of Chelsea must win. If you could recollect our preseason, analysis, I spoke about how Chelsea individually has fantastic players, but as a team, we are not yet. We are not yet there, and so we are rebuilding a team, and it will take time. I don't place, the team in a position where we'll be contesting for the title like the coach says. I think it will take time, and to fall from, a Champions League team to a team that is now struggling to even score Bournemouth is quite depressing. Yes, you may be building a team, but then there are certain matches that you should be winning, and I think the weekend match against Bournemouth was one of such. It's very painful to watch Chelsea nowadays. I think at some point I'd have to stop, because if you lose against City and give us the excuse of building a team, it's understandable. But against Bournemouth, come on, guys, we deserve better.
Well, then it gets to the matter of leadership. Chelsea needs leadership. Do you see leadership on the field? I mean, you go into certain games and you need direct results. I mean, from the goalkeeping department right to the striking force, are virtually players who are new. I mean, they have players who've experienced the English Premier League before, who've probably won trophies in Raheem Sterling. But do you see leadership on the pitch of play? One who, when things are going, not in the right direction, they can control the game. Plus, what the coach has given them, to make sure they grind results. Do you see leadership?
So yes, on the leadership issue, I personally believe that Chelsea is lacking leadership. I mean, we all saw the John Terry era, forever our leader, our captain, and our legend, and we transitioned into the Cesar Spilicueta leadership, and we saw the impact of these players on matches, on games. At the dying moment, how they were able to motivate the team to be able to get all 3 points. This is something that we are currently lacking. I mean, Reese is a fantastic player. We will not take that away from him. In as much as he's a fantastic player, we must also all come to the realization that he's a very injury prone player, meaning that he might not be on the field as much as possible. And this is where I personally believe that it was wrong for the club to ship out, a lot of its old players, because there will come a time where you will need somebody who has been able to get results at the 95th minute to be able to motivate these guys to be able to get the 3 points, and this is something we are lacking. So I think we are in a situation that is very unpleasant. It is very painful to watch our team fall from the pedestal that it had reached. But then, like we said, we are building a team, and it takes time for a team to be built. So we might as well just be patient and then have faith in the coach. That's the two pieces I have on our leadership.